Hello everyone, my name is Christian and welcome to my hobby blog. Today we're going to do a ranking slash unboxing of Video's recent release of the Yokai Monsters collection. So this comes in a very nice hard box, as you can see, just like the Tsukamoto collection up there. It's in a really nice sturdy box. The way that they split the movies is not too weird, but basically the first three movies, which came out as a trilogy back in the 60s, they are in one box, and then Takashi Miike did a remake to kind of bring this trilogy to a modern audience, and it comes in its own disc. For the most part, these movies are pretty good. They're not the best, but I think the essays that come with this set, and it's pretty long. It's in this nice little booklet here. You can see kind of how long it is. There are many different essays. My favorite one, of course, is the one discussing the entire history of the yokai phenomenon in Japan from back during Shinto religious beliefs to the Japanese industry, where they found a lot of success in doing these type of movies. But that was the most shockingly awesome essay, but we also get a great representation of every yokai monster that are in the movies, at least. You can see here they look really great, but my only complaint is that they didn't include the newest yokai movie, which is a sequel that Takashi Miike made to his first movie in this set. But I think for the most part it's not really needed, and I'll explain now, I guess, as I discuss my rankings of these movies. The first movie, I'm not going to rank them now, I'm just kind of listing. The first movie that came out is 100 Monsters. The next one is Spook Warfare. The third one and the final one of the original trilogy is Along with Ghosts. And the final one, made by Takashi Miike in the modern age, is called The Great Yokai War. Now, I'm going to go from my least favorite to my favorite. So I think it goes without saying that Takashi Miike 1 is my least favorite of the set. It's just like in Terraformers, that is another really high budget sci-fi movie that he made. He overly uses CGI because all of the yokai, for the most part, are practical. They're made out of paper mache or whatever material, and it looks real. They're, for the most part, fully articulated in terms of their eyes, mouth, and like just emotional resonance. But the basic story of the Great Yokai War is that Tokyo has become a very, I guess, negative place, a city of indulgence and just all this stuff, and someone is trying to revive an ancient yokai, which is supposed to like end reality as we know it. And we follow an 8-year-old boy by the name of Tadashi, who is chosen as the Great Kirin rider, which is like a specific kind of horse or something of Japanese mythology. And he's chosen, and he gets thrown into this big yokai war. And the enemy side is made up of like Terminator metal monsters. And this is when I lost a lot of interest every time they showed up, because we're supposed to believe that this little boy who has a great sword that can only be used to kill these metal monsters, he's supposed to be squaring up with like 30-foot tall monster metal creatures. And it is so lame, in my opinion, because he uses a lot of CGI and it has like claw hands and like chainsaw arms and like all this super crazy stuff. But like that's in the first like 30 minutes, and the rest of the movie is constantly trying to wow you with the CGI of these great big monsters. And I just couldn't really stand it anymore. It's a good movie, but it's not the best of the set. The next one is my third my third favorite out of four is going to be along with Ghosts, which is the final of the trilogy. That one is about a little girl who loses her doll, and there's a corrupt like shogunate who is just causing trouble, and she witnesses them executing a guy, and the yokai work together to protect her and try to get the shogunate, out of her hair. And it was really good. It went back to its core themes from the original one, because the original is like not at all a comedy or anything like that, and this one went back to that. It's a lot more serious. There are goofy parts because there is a kid involved, so you can't have horrifying things happening constantly, but I really enjoyed that one. It's just that after reading the supplements and all that, it was just kind of like, okay, like they were just kind of cashing in at that point, which is what they said. They were making so much money from these entries, so they would just do that. But it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. But my second rating, or my second to last movie, my second favorite is going to be Spook Warfare, which is number 2. And it's kind of interesting that the earlier the movie came out in relation to the other ones, the better it was. So number 2 is all about an Egyptian god or something coming to Japan and slowly capturing all the yokai, and our Kappa water spirit sprite. He has to form a team, I guess, of yokai to battle this outsider god. And it's very much like a Power Rangers episode. It is so awesome. I really enjoyed it, but after watching the very terrifying and tonally different 100 Monsters, the first movie, I can see that a lot of people may not like it. I was not ready for that that shift in tone, but I think once I kind of realized, like, oh my gosh, this is like a Power Rangers episode, I enjoyed it a lot more. So that is number 2. My favorite one is the first one, of course. That one is kind of like an anthology film that somehow connects by the end of all these different yokai monsters and what summons them, what rituals you have to take. There's a lot more serious and leaning more in the horror elements. And it was really fun to see the practical yokai in this. And this is why I was kind of disappointed in the Takashi Miike one, because they're in rubber suits, but I forget that there's a person inside them because it's so well acted and well done. And I think my favorite one, of course, is going to be the long hair necked one right there. You kind of see her kind of towards the top. She is so creepy, and I don't know how they did that effect. And I think I've reviewed this movie actually on the channel, so if you want to know more about it, then go watch that. But I really loved the set. I loved the design, the essays. It's very much a film school in a box, as Guillermo del Toro described the Criterion Collection. Is that it's a good replacement of film school. But I think that's it. I highly recommend this. I don't know if the limited edition is out anymore, so you'll probably just get, the movies and no booklet, which is my favorite part of the set, is the essays. So if you can find the limited edition with the booklet, definitely go get that. It goes a long way in helping you or anyone else to fully appreciate this, because you need context. I'm sure this movie was a million times better for people in Japan at the time when these movies were coming out, because they didn't need to explain all the cultural and religious elements that are in Japan in terms of Shintoism and Buddhism and all this stuff. Because reading the essays, we have an American who knows Japanese and is very knowledgeable about Japanese culture, explaining to the reader what, the yokai sensation was in the 60s. And now there's it's like a multi-million-dollar industry, because there's a yokai street, there are action figures to these creatures, there are many books, some re-released ever since the 1200s or the 13th century, and that's kind of incredible. But the originals are much better than Takashi Miike's, so I think watching the Takashi Miike one first may be good, but at the same time, there's a lot of Easter eggs to the original one. We get a cameo of the original artist who kind of popularized these in the 50s and kind of worked together with Toho, I believe, or Daiei Studio to make film adaptations of the books. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about the book for this box set. But it's a very quality release. Good luck finding the limited. This was one of the final copies I found online that you could buy new. So hopefully the standard comes with the essays, because that's the best part of this box set. And with that said, thank you all for watching.